my goal is to help people build community around their creative project.
It's a unique way to build audience and get revenue in a way that doesn't make you spend a bunch of money up front. Welcome back. I'm joined today by Oriana Leckert, head of publishing at Kickstarter, and known around all of publishing as the Kickstarter lady.
Such an
Um, yeah,
honor.
Kickstarter is our sponsor of our Kicking It Kickstarter cohort, which is a completely new and innovative kind of sponsorship and interaction that we've done at Author Nation this year. This episode is going to be a little different. We're going to be talking a lot about that. And I think for both of us, this is more like, wow, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. Now we do. How you doing, Oriana?
I'm doing so great, Joe. It is always a pleasure to talk with you. I appreciate you having me on the podcast. And yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think, it was your idea. We kind of brainstormed it together. We figured we'd put something together and see how it ran. I think we're both pretty thrilled with the early results and kind of can't wait to see how it goes the rest of the year.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so excited that we were able to kind of do this and how much of your time you've been able to put into it. So why don't we quickly, just for those that don't know what Kickstarter is, kind of give you your corporate elevator speech, and then we'll talk about like this crazy thing that we did and what it turned into.
Yeah, totally. Well, so Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform. We have all or nothing funding. We're a public benefit corporation, and we're designed only for creative projects. So every Kickstarter campaign needs to create something new to share with the world. My job as the head of publishing, I sit in the outreach team. So I've described my job as sort of one part publishing industry expert, one part crowdfunding consultant, one part life coach, and one part cheerleader. So those are the various ways in which I tend to help people out who are working on campaigns or who even Kickstarter curious. I also do a lot of traveling, a lot of shows like Author Nation, a lot of panels, a lot of AMAs. I'm just kind of trying to be out there in the world, helping people figure out whether Kickstarter makes sense for them, helping to set them up for success if they decide to use it.
And like everything you do was used in full extent with what we did.
Totally, totally. It was such a perfect encapsulation.
Yeah. So we were just talking numbers ahead of time, and to give people context, and I'll kind of answer some of the questions for you is like what I've always been so excited about with Kickstarter and what the opportunity it is from the business perspective is it's a unique way to build audience and create, get revenue in a way that doesn't make you spend a bunch of money up front. But it's not simple. It's a lot of moving parts.
Yep. A lot of work. Can be a lot of
Yeah.
work.
So this year, as part of Kickstarter's sponsorship of Author Nation, uh, Oriana will be at the show. She has space on the expo day, but she'll be around the show the whole week. She'll be doing some sessions. Um, but a big part of what you did as far as sponsorship is dedicated your time to coaching and cheerleading our community that participated in this cohort. And we have over 31 authors that have committed to doing a Kickstarter this year. Author Nation did a Kickstarter for a romance anthology, and we wanted to kind of touch on where those numbers are right now. And we're only about halfway through all the Kickstarters. So I won't show the numbers, but we ended up with authors that committed. They were projecting for their goal a total of $43,000, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're already at $163,000.
So incredible.
Yeah. And like that's less than half have already done theirs. And
Yeah.
that doesn't include the $23,000 that our romance anthology raised, which was our first time ever. We haven't ever done one before for a limited edition book that'll be delivered at the show. So we're wildly happy with our success on that. And we even got our first payment from Kickstarter. Saw that in
Hey,
the
look at
account the other
that.
day.
Well, and I will say, I mean, of course, the money is, this is called crowdfunding. The point is raising funds. But actually, one of the most thrilling early moments for me in our first cohort session, we talked about how we're going to do these meetings. I think it's every other month. You get
Every
an
other month, yeah.
opportunity with me. And I didn't even see until later because I had my screen shared. But sort of right after I said that in the comments, people were saying, hey, would anybody want to meet more regularly? Maybe let's meet weekly. And they spun up just a regular weekly meeting without me, without you. Like, my goal is to help people build community around their creative projects. And the fact that that spontaneously happened immediately is such a fantastic sort of like secondary goal of this project that I don't think we even stated out loud when we designed the cohort.
No, that we were hoping that this would kind of be it, and then to see, that's when you've got something kind of going. Is
Yeah.
like you can always have a vision of it, and then what the people actually do with it, which is like, oh, like listen to your customer. It's like they want to
Yeah.
meet weekly,
Yeah.
and so in that case, we did whatever we could to facilitate that. But like that's their deal, and I really believe that um, that community of communities is what is core to our mission. We're not here to tell you how it should be done. Like you need to have it meet on this and do that and have the logo. But can we help get the right people in the room that then decide they're going to do what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, uh, are we going to have people that Kickstarters don't fund? Yeah, but
But
we'll
you
probably have a
know,
lot less than they would have if they didn't work together.
totally. And even running a Kickstarter that doesn't reach its goal, you learn a lot of lessons about what you can do differently next time. You share those lessons with the other folks who haven't started yet. People who have been successful, share lessons with you about what you can do differently. I think it all becomes part of the process.
So let's kind of help folks think through this, like from the perspective of, like we talked about the problems that Kickstarter solves. It's around building your audience, funding in a way that you don't, it kind of helps you through like a bootstrapping process. You can test the market with lower risk. Um, what kind of mindset do you think somebody needs to have to be a good user of Kickstarter and deal with?
Huh. I mean, you certainly have to be open to sort of like new ideas. It's not like a cookie cutter kind of solution that has always, been true in publishing since time immemorial. You have to be willing to do some self promo. I mean, it usually helps that you're promoting your creative work first and yourself second. Authors are not necessarily known for being the most self promotional, but that is for sure a major part of the Kickstarter proposition. You have to be able to distill your creative work into like you have to be able to do a good elevator pitch and also organize sort of like the rest of your story in a compelling way. Um, yeah, you have to be, I think that's mostly it, willing to sort of like try new things and learn as you go, be flexible and iterative and yeah, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that assessment. I think that um, how do you put it? Kickstarter curious.
Yeah, Kickstarter curious, yeah.
What's the other ones?
I mean, we talked about, sort of like someone who has never really thought about Kickstarter before and just needs to have their mind kind of opened.
Yeah, Kickstarter aware.
People who are already Kickstarter curious, but like not really sure. And then, folks who have done it, who are planning to do it, who are like Kickstarter committed, I guess,
Yeah.
would be maybe the third.
Yeah. So if you are curious, like don't think that you have to be ready to run a Kickstarter with what we're doing with the cohort. Like you can just sit on the meetings and listen and watch.
Totally.
There's no obligation. It just I think that the best use of your time and Thorne's time and the other people there is if you are ready to drop your Kickstarter and getting feedback, right? Like I think that's really good for you if you're getting ready to launch, and it's a great way to learn if you're curious, like what's involved in hearing, like, okay, there's these things you need to think about. And I know certainly, a perfect example is Isabella that ran our Kickstarter. First off, she's amazing, but this was the first, she's never run a Kickstarter before.
Totally.
Like it's all been what she learned from you guys.
And she nailed it. She hit it out of the park. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a weird aside, but like, do I remember when we were on that one of the calls, people were talking about Facebook ads not really working with Kickstarter?
I don't remember if that was on one of these calls, but yeah, it does seem to be the sort of conventional wisdom. I mean, I think what I would say a digital ad strategy is coming more to the fore for creative projects. Like the bigger projects are probably doing some amount of performance marketing. I think it is something that if you're going to do it, you need to sort of like look to it with a bit of professionalism rather than kind of just like putting a little bit of money behind this ad or that ad and like hoping that comes back to you. Uh, yeah, it doesn't. Creative projects are much harder to market than gadgets or, games with big recognized
Yeah.
IP, that sort of thing.
We'll need to talk because we had pretty good results with our ads.
Okay, let's talk. That's great. That's
That,
great. I'm willing to be proven wrong. Maybe it's just that, people are still kind of like figuring out how to come at it. But I'm just sharing what I hear anecdotally from.
yeah, and I heard it on that call too, and it was like, well, I got to give it a shot. And you know, part of it is we have a brand, but it's not all that,
Yeah.
mature. But
Yeah.
like, um, I think our advertising strategy was the three top contributors were Willow Winter's List, Kickstarter Direct, so like your organic stuff, and
Yep.
number three was our Facebook ads.
That's great. I
Yeah,
love to hear it.
yeah. So
Maybe you should teach a session on Facebook ads for Kickstarter campaigns.
maybe,
Uh,
maybe. Um, and I also know somebody else that kind of followed what I did, and they had good results too. So
that's
there's,
great. I'm really
yeah.
glad to hear it.
Yeah. So, but like that, now we're getting it real into the weeds and
Right,
advanced
right.
stuff. Like that's not what this is about. Like, the other thing that I think is important about our numbers that we didn't share is in that $150,000 number is on average, our cohorts raising about $2,000 in their first Kickstarter. Um, I don't know many people that their first time they launch a book make 2,000 bucks. And
Totally.
yeah, so like keep that in mind.
Yeah.
When you guys are back in headquarters, what are you guys like talking about, like as far as like where publishing you think is going and how, what problems need to be solved for authors?
Huh. Well, those are not conversations we're having at HQ because I am both the head of publishing and the entire publishing team. There's nobody for me to talk to about that. I mean, our head of comics, Sam, he and I talk about this sort of stuff. And in fact,
Yeah.
we've been talking with our head of games, with our whole games team, Asher and Nicole in Asia, about some crossover ideas for because I am that has always been a sort of like low rumble, but seeing more things like we've got a romance novelist who's got a puzzle on the platform right now. We've always had like authors doing tarot tags, putting their IP into like TTRPGs or RPGs,
Mhm.
doing comics to books, books to comics, that sort of thing. So I'm looking at a lot of innovations in those directions. I was just at Gen Con for the first time, the biggest tabletop board game convention in the country. So I had a lot of conversations along those lines. But what I am sort of like what I would talk to someone else about if I had someone else to talk to, is that publishing it is going really well. It has never really gone down in Kickstarter's
Yeah.
history. I mean, it's never been the biggest category for sure, but it's never been the smallest, and it's never really, knock on whatever, taken a dip. We go up, our numbers go up every year in terms of projects launched, projects funded, dollars raised, total number of backers, total number of new creators on the platform. Like, really, by every metric I can think of to look at, the publishing category remains healthy and ascendant. So to me, that's sort of like the best I could ask for.
Yeah. And, our experience in that being able to walk away not only with the funds and like a successful project is like we're building an audience, right? And we may never
Totally.
move that audience. Like I'm not looking to move that audience off Kickstarter, but it's like, oh, I've got their data. I can go knock on their door again and say, hey, you liked what we did before. Is this interesting to you?
Totally. And it's not wrong to move it off Kickstarter and to move your other audiences onto Kickstarter. I mean, Kickstarter can dovetail with any other marketing and promotion you're doing for your creative work, with any sort of like general brand building. You know, we've seen a lot of people who have a solid Patreon following bringing those supporters to Kickstarter, people moving their Kickstarter people out into their Substack or their Ghost or
Mhm.
various other subscription platforms. So it's all your fans. You're just finding new and different ways to connect with them.
No, I 100% agree. So if somebody's only got like, and I know this is a hard, maybe we do it in three segments, like the uh now that if they're here now, they're not no longer unaware, they're curious. So we got curious, and we've got somebody that's probably done a Kickstarter and thinking, like, if they only have like a limited amount of time, let's say it's 30 minutes a week to go from Kickstarter curious to doing their first Kickstarter, what would you tell them to do?
Number one thing they should do is back other people's campaigns. I use this line all the time, but I am an expert in Kickstarter because I stare at Kickstarter all day long. And you too can stare at Kickstarter all day long and find all the best tricks and make them your own. Really, backing campaigns is the most important thing you can do for yourself. And it takes a lot less than 30 minutes a week. Backing campaigns, Kickstarter is a vast historical repository of all things Kickstarter. You can see every project that ever ran, all the rewards they offered, how many people backed at different tiers, how they structured their copy, all the things that you are going to need to do. And backing live campaigns gets you in on the other side. You get to get really excited when you get those backer updates. You get to like watch the campaign creep closer to its goal, celebrate with the creator when they hit various stretch goals. So it really puts you into the right mindset of what to do when it's your turn. So that's the first thing. Beyond that, I mean, I would say if we're talking 30 minutes a week, you're going to be slowly pulling together your story, figuring out how to tell it, how to organize it, what to say, how to illustrate it, how many images you can get, that sort of thing to keep the page interesting. You're going to be figuring out what you're doing for rewards. So that means budgeting for stuff that you're going to have to produce, but also like seeking out partner rewards or coming up with experience rewards, different things like that. And then finally working out your outreach and promotional strategy, which, given an abundance of time, you can do that in 30 minutes a week, just kind of like thinking slowly through what are all the various avenues available to you for promotion and how you can work out each one.
Awesome. So you're going to be at Author Nation.
Sure am.
What's one thing that you're excited about?
Oh, I love Author Nation. Just getting to see all the people that I know, meet people that I don't know, have a lot of really good one-on-ones. I love teaching sessions. I'm always excited for, the people who come up to me and say, I wasn't even thinking about Kickstarter as a viable option and now I am, or who come and say, I saw your talk last year and since then I ran a project and it went really well. Yeah, just, I'm extroverted to a fault. So being among the people makes me very, very happy.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, if you see Oriana with a bunch of people, just plow in. She does
Totally,
not
always.
care. You're
You
gonna
are
you're gonna
always
come away with like
welcome,
three friends.
for sure. Join every conversation. It's
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah, yeah. It's very approachable person, and
Thank you.
that's why you come to the show, is to help people and
Yeah,
connect them. Like, it's not just about you. It's like, a lot of people and what they're doing, and can be like, oh, you need to talk to this person or that. Like,
totally.
right.
Yeah, that brings
Cool.
me a lot of joy getting to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's been great having you on and getting your perspective on where things are at. Where can people learn more if they're like, they can't wait till November, they need to do something today? Like,
Yeah, well, I don't give my email address out on podcasts anymore, but I will say I've got a weird name and I'm very online, so you can probably uh you could go to all the Author Nation cohort links if you want to share those. You can go to
yeah,
Kickstarter.
well, those will be in the show notes for
Good,
sure. Like,
good. Yeah. I think that would be the place to start. You can also just go to kickstarter.com/publishing and start looking at what we got. I guess I'll also do a plug for this is not mine, but there's an excellent Facebook group called Kickstarter for Authors run by
mhm.
Anthea Sharp and Thorne Coyle. There's about 8,000 people in that group, and they run a incredibly tight ship, super informative and really good for yeah, getting all your questions answered from folks who are in the same place you are.
Yeah, and Thorn is also on our calls too. So, like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have those links in the show notes, and we kind of did solve that problem. Like, if you're trying to figure this thing out, just come and lurk. It's okay.
Exactly.
You don't have
Totally.
to say anything. Just watch the action,
Yep.
right?
100%.
And we'll be giving updates at the show for sure, where things are at. I'm really excited to see, like, I knew this was going to materialize in a really positive way, but like to see it go so fast and
Yeah.
kind of so seamlessly was
So
is
nice.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. So for those of you that are coming to Author Nation in November, please be sure to check in with Oriana and say hello. If you don't have your ticket yet, go to authornation.live and get your ticket, because quite frankly, you're just missing out on the best thing since shirt pockets if you're an author. So
It's a good
um,
tagline.
yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Anything else you want to add before we
No, that's
sign off?
great. I can't wait to see you in November and I can't wait to talk about your campaign.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.